Hi everyone, hope you're doing great. This is a user requested video. In this video, I am going to show you how to create different type of materials using Enscape, which we are going to use regularly for interior designing. Hope this is going to be a good notes for you. So let's start. For this tutorial, I have made all the collection in this folder. I will share in the description as well. To create tiles, you need two textures. One is with the color map and one is with the normal map. If you are following my videos, you already know where to get this. We have some open source websites also there like CC0 textures. So from those only, I have downloaded these two textures. Okay, apply on the face. So these are the tiles. So I'm adjusting this tile scale. So I'm not directly applying from here. I'm using here because it will be directly calculated in the Enscape. So I'm going to use 2 feet tiles here. So these are the tilings. And now we need to upload that normal map. That you can do it in Enscape. So in the Enscape you can see like this. These are the tiles. So it is not looking like a tile actually. Some lighting we need to get into this scene. So I'm going to hide these curtains. Okay, some lighting will be there. I will adjust some lighting here. Okay, this is exactly looking like a paper. So to make them as a tiles, open material editor. All you need is this reflection. So add this one. So when you are applying, when you are decreasing this roughness, like you can observe that these reflections are pretty good. So if you are like complete zero, like it will look like a glass. But as a any porcelain material or ceramic materials won't look that much shiny. So I will add somewhere like 7%, even 10 also will do. So after that it will look like some reflective tile kind of a material, but this is not exactly looking like a tile, actual tile. So we need to get these bumps at this location. So for that only we need this normal map. So we need to apply that normal map over here. Normal map and use albedo. Here actually we have two options. You can upload the normal map here and you can use the same albedo map as a normal map. But I do have a normal map. I want to apply here. So open, apply this normal map, click open. And here it is exactly looking like a tile shape. Even if you decrease the roughness also, it will look good. You can observe that bump. If you want to add this intensity of normal map, you can do that here. The more percentage you increase, the more depth it will look like. So you can observe that a little bit closely if you observe here. If it is a little bit lesser, it will look like this. It will be like more, it will look like this. So this is the bump, that groove thing between the tiles. So this is how you can create the tiles. Just for the added point, I just want to show you. I just remove this normal map and I use albedo. So that complete normal map is odd. That normal map is like in reverse mode it is applied. So I just want to reduce this percentage. So the more it is reduced, the bump is going to be less. But even if you want to go in negative shade also, because if you observe in the positive value, we are getting the bump in upward direction. If I reduce in this direction, the bump will be in the downward direction. But it is not tile kind of a material. It's like it will be calculating each and every color shade. Like if you can click here, based on the color map, it will develop the bump map. For the bump or normal map, that shade should be in black and white. So it will automatically calculate and generate this image in black and white shades. If you want to tweak further, like you can do this, like here you can adjust the brightness here. See, depends on the brightness thing, that reflection will be calculating differently, right? Or if you can do the image inverted. So for the more tweak you can do that. This is how you can create the tiles. To create stone on the same face, I just want to replace with the stone material. Simply click here. I do have this wall cladding. I want to apply this material. So if you are getting this kind of a flickering, it is created a mask. That is not an error, that is a mask Enscape creating automatically when you applied a PNG image. So if you go down at the transparency, it is automatically applied a cutout map. You don't need this. So if you close this, so you can get that stone texture. But anyhow, the same thing. Even the stone also, if you apply a little bit roughness, shiny thing, but stone don't look like that. So what you're going to do, you're going to apply a normal map here. This is the normal map. So this is how it look like a stone, right? Sometimes I follow like this way, like I use this normal map. Sometimes I will develop with the use albedo. So why I did that, like if I use a normal map, it will calculate exact structure whatever it is in the normal map. The same coding it will calculate. Sometimes on the wall claddings, if you want in between also, if you want some roughness, I can do this albedo. See, it will be calculating like this. This is also looking good. So what I can do, I can adjust with the height map amount. If you want a little bit more details, click here, go to bump mat, and you can fade out the image a little bit. Don't do too much, very little. We will get a little bit less roughness and more shininess. So depends on your liking and taste. Like you can use this. Anyhow, for the stone, all we need a little bit of roughness and the bump map. That's it. So for the fabrics, I use this curtain. This curtain object don't have any materials. So what I'm going to do, I will apply a material. I do have this blue velvet fabric. This is also similar texture. Pen. I'm going to apply on this curtain model. I have applied on both front and back faces. Either way, I can see this fabric texture. In the render, you can see this fabric is not that realistic because behind we have the window. So the sun is going to pop up inside, right? This is just an image applied over it, so it won't act like a fabric material. Here what I'm going to do, if I use a transparency here, because as the fabric a little bit transparent in and out, very little, when I apply opacity here, see, it is looking like a glass. Enscape don't calculate this opacity values very good where compared to other softwares. But I do have a solution. Don't use this opacity. I will use 100% and I will use a foliage. See, it will be like act like a kind of a human flesh or tree leaves like that. That kind of a properties it will act. But even though it is won't look like a 100% fabric. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload an image in the cutout transparency. So I'll get back to generic and here. In the cutout, I will upload an image, the same image I have used. Here we don't have option like a use albedo. When I applied that image, so it is looking like this, horrible. But go to that image, invert that image. So that we need this white color, so that it will get pop up a little. And brightness should be very light. Around 10 to 15, that values we are getting good fabric kind of a feel. See, now you can see this. Render, it will be looking like this. This is how we can create the fabric. Unlike the curtains, if you want to add any other, if you want to tweak any other fabric material, use simply reflections and height map only. You don't even need the reflections because for the fabric we won't get the reflections. Simply use the height map. Either you can use the albedo or you can use the normal map. Both maps or you can download from the online, right? Anyhow, you can use those or you can adjust the values accordingly. To show leather material, I will apply a leather material over here. For leather, I do have two samples. One is black color and a brown color. I will apply first this one, brown. Go closely, you can observe this fabric pattern, right? To make it realistic, if I use reflections, some shininess you're getting. I will use this one, use albedo. For this one, I will show with this one, but the amount is too much. And it is in upward direction, so I will do in negative direction. See that leather feel. So roughness a little bit more we need. See, this is how you can get this leather finish. Depends on the shininess you want. Use this roughness, like don't give too much, don't get too less. Depends on that look, observe here and apply here, because every object will have different finishes. Based on the render look, you can adjust these values. If I use black material, this is a black leather I want. For this one I do have a normal map, so I will show with the normal map. Apply a normal map here, normal map, upload. See, this is not in correct direction. So what I can do, even if I go in negative direction also, it won't matter. Make it in 100% only. So to correct this one, if I go here and if I want to invert the texture for the normal map, we won't get that. So make that to bump map. The results are different, and you will get an option like a positive or negative on both sides. See, this is how you will get the leather patterns. So depends on your requirement, you will adjust the amount. This is how you can get leather material. So in any part like fabrics, leathers or tiles, anything, we use only 2 points, height map and reflections only. Depends on the object looks, adjust the values, don't remember anything. Adjust the values as per the image only, that's it. To create carpets or grass and carpet proxies will be applied by default. So for example, this is a fabric material, right? When you change the same material from the generic to carpet, you can see that carpet proxies are applied. It is very dark, so I will remove this one. So apply this color, so I will change to white color. Just for the instance I am showing you. If I go nearby, see, these are like carpet proxies. So it is looking like a carpet, right? You can adjust the height here, carpet height, and variation. Depends on the look, you can apply. See, simply I can change the color here. Whatever the color on the face, that will be applied to the proxy. And a similar way you will get the grass. So grass is not this color, apply the green. Even you are getting this motion animation to this grass as well. These are like proxies, see? These proxies will be applied on the face randomly. It will be scattered randomly. It will look like a grass. Just for the fun, I want to show one more thing. Unlike the color, I want to apply a texture here. I am going to apply this tile object on this face. If I change the same to carpet, see, it is following that pattern. Even the grass, these proxies calculate from the color which is applied on the face, either color or texture, whatever you applied. For the lights, we do have one more option like emissiveness, self-illuminated. This emissiveness applied on the objects, but it won't create like a light effect. For example, I have created a light cylinder object just to create like a light. Over here I have created, but it is not acting like a light. So I need to add a light here. For that, the Enscape objects, I want to use a spotlight. I am getting the light from this. You can observe here this lighting. I will select this one. If I use the intensity, see, I am getting the light from this object because I have created the light object. But this object not acting like a light because it is not like illuminated. To make it look like a light, we need to apply the self-illumination material. While creating the material here, you can apply that keybind like emissive directly from here. EMISSIVE. That emissive self-illumination property will be applied to this color. For example, I use the red color, okay, and I will apply on this face. It is illuminating, and we got that red color because I applied it. Or I create a material, apply on it, and over here you can select that self-illuminator. See, we have like it is looking like a light illumination, and you are getting the light from it because we have created the object. No matter how many lights you create, we won't get that lighting effect. We need to create an object that will act like a light, and we need to add an object, light object there. So you can increase or decrease the intensity. Depends on your requirement, you adjust that illuminance value. Here you can apply that color as well. This is how you create lights. To create metals, you can take any kind of color and apply a metallic finish on it. So simply take new material. While creating itself, I just want to apply a kind of a black color. Just want to show you on this face. Simple color, no metalness. So in the material properties, apply a metallic. But it is not looking like a metal, right? Because metal will be shine a little. The more shinier you will give, it will look like a metal. I want to differentiate. If it is not a non-metal, it will look like a kind of a plastic material. If it is 100% metal, it will look like a metal. Why? Because it is looking like this. I have applied a kind of a color, right, tone. If it is white, it will look like a silver kind of a material. It will reflect exactly the same. Roughness, I have given some roughness here. If I don't give anything, see, it will act like a mirror. So to create mirror, simply you create a white color and apply zero roughness and 100% metallic. That's it. This is how you create metal and mirrors. So if I want to create a gold kind of a look, simply you need to use the color only. Here in the Enscape we do have a gold name color here. Apply the same color here. So it will look like a gold, right? If I want to use a brass, any kind of a brown colors, right? I will use this one, Peru. Kind of a copper looking thing. Brass, adjust these values accordingly. It will look like rose gold even then. Towards red, rose gold things. So depends on the color, it will act like that kind of a metal thing. Just use a very little bit roughness, because if it is 100% polished, it will be look like that kind, but I want to use very little bit fine roughness. So it is good. If I want to create brushed kind of a finish here, so I can apply a height map here. I do have an image for that, this one. This is too much, around 1.60 brushed type of finish. So I just simply applied a bump map here. So if I change the color, see, just for the fun I'm just showing this pattern. I do have a normal map here, see. Depends on the normal you applied, it will act like that kind of a finish. If you want to create a rustic type of material, we need to apply a rustic type of material there. We need this kind of texture. Closely we need to observe that, but so I will apply 3 feet. Okay, this is a rustic texture here, but it is not looking like rustic. So again I need to apply height map, so I will use a albedo. Oh, too much rough, amount should be released, and we need to adjust the roughness as well. See, looking good. So this is how you create the metals. To show the glass sample, I have created an object like this and new material. Simply while applying, you can give the glass keybind here, or just give the opacity value to 50. That will also create the same. Click OK and apply. It will be looking like glass in the SketchUp and here also. If you want to observe that reflectionness also, it is all by default it is applied. I didn't give any keybind, even though just with the simple opacity value it will be converted like a glass. You can observe the reflections as well. If you go to the materials, see the reflections, the roughness is 0. By default it is applied, and specular with the 50 value and opacity 50. So directly you can create a glass kind of a materials like this. If you want to make it like a frosted, click on this frosted one, so blurriness will be applied. Or if you want to add some tinted kind of a glass, you can apply tint color here below the refractive index. So I will apply some gold tint. Or if you want to use the patterned kind of a glass, you can use the height map. I want to apply this kind of a brushed. See, looking good. Just for the fun. This one. This is kind of a glass. When you are making glass, make sure that you make with a single face, not with the box or cube or anything. If it is a box, means it will calculate front and back side. Another second face will be there. That is also it will be calculated. That is why make sure when you are making any glass patterns with a single face only. To show the concrete sample, I am going to apply on this particular wall. Create new material. So I do have some samples for the concrete. This is kind of a texture, right? You can apply it in the render. You can observe that. If I go closely, you can observe the patterns. So actually I don't need to apply any normal map because that image is kind of a rough, kind of a looking like that. If you want to create kind of a textured walls, I do have a sample for that. So for that I will apply this one, color map. It doesn't look like much, but to make it interesting, I do have a normal map. Bump map folder, I'm going to apply this texture. I got this from texture.com. So when you observe closely, you can see these patterns. At some distance it's not looking good, so need to change the scale. 3 kind of. Now it is visible, but the amount is too less, so I will increase. See, now you can see these patterns. For instance, if I make it as a bump map, you can increase or decrease furthermore. See, after increment, that strike it is little bit more, right? And the visual is very good. With the different kind of a pattern, you can apply different kind of paint structures and all. Just for the fun, this normal map. This kind of wall claddings also you can do. This is how you can create the concretes or other wall panelings. To show water sample, any kind of a material that you can convert into water. Here from the generic to water. See, the face is like overlapping. So what I'll do, at least move 1 mm so that there will be gap. It won't be flickering that much. See, it is looking like a river. Why we got that green color? Because we have applied some color on it. So when you make it white, it will get standard blue color water thing. See, very realistic water effect will be created by default. The simple water. And here you can apply the watercolor over, right? And you can use this global wind settings that we are going to create in the settings, right? You can use the same, or you can use that scale. This wave scale is there, right? That you can over here. Bigger scales or smaller. Very less waves. See, won't be like that. See, looking like a sea. Even you can change this caustic intensity also. See, this is how you create a very realistic water effect. To create high glossy metallic finish or metallic high glossy polish kind of that kind of material, we do have another option, clear coat. For the car paints and all, we can use this one, clear coat. Sample this material and simply change the generic to clear coat. See, right away what happens, that metallic will be 100%, and even though roughness is 0, but you can see this shininess, right? Actually you need to get this done over here, right? But even though you will get that reflections, car paint. If I did that, see, even very high, almost metal kind of a thing it will look like, but not like that. And it is good. This is kind of a car paint kind of a look. This is how you create car paints or very high glossy, high shiny materials. This is how we create materials in the Enscape. That's all for today guys. Hope this is going to be useful. Thank you for watching. Take care.